Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs, and the room is stutters. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late, cause I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the fate, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a brand new episode of HWP Xtra, brought to you by the Hardy Wrestling Podcast. Now, of course, I'm your girl Stephanie Hardy, host and creator of this fabulous platform, and of course HWP Xtra, and co-host of Steph and Cat Talk Wow, writer and commentator. Hopefully coming to you soon on another show. We will announce that at a later time. But of course, yeah. And of course, I'm here tonight with my fabulous co-host, Ebony Rose Ringside herself, Bianca Addison. How are you, Bianca? Happy Friday.
I'm blessed and highly favored. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you all. We have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot went down on SmackDown. A lot went down this week in the world of wrestling. And we got some predictions going on for tomorrow's event on Saturday, known as Elimination Chamber in the second city. So I'm excited for tonight. We have a lot to discuss.
Yeah, we do have a lot to discuss because even with SmackDown going down, like you said, it was the go home show for Elimination Chamber in Chicago. And of course, if you are watching us live, thank you so much for watching us live. Know that you can comment, and maybe your comment will show up on the screen. You just never know. It might pop up on here if you want to join the discussion, or if something resonates with you. Go ahead. This is an open and safe space for all wrestling fans, for you to be yourself and just love on this thing that we talk about. So yeah, it's a huge weekend because of course this is the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. And I feel like Michael Cole when I say that, but it's true. It is the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. Elimination. Yeah, time is going by really fast. Like tomorrow is the last day of Black History Month, the last day of February. Like March is on its way, and it felt like the Royal Rumble just happened, and time is just going by really quickly. But yeah, Elimination Chamber is happening, and we do have our predictions later on in the show. But there's still a lot that we did want to talk about that happened this week in wrestling, and also over the course of the last week in wrestling too, was something that I did want to discuss. So, as we go forth on the road to WrestleMania, we do have someone who has made their big decision as to who they are facing in a championship match, as everyone is really, trying to um, move themselves forward with their choices. But hey, we have no gimmicks on YouTube saying, hey ladies, great BHM posts this month. Stephanie, really enjoyed them. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you've been liking my Black History Month posts. I just try my best to highlight people who we try to highlight people that we know and people who we feel like may or may not get, a lot of love. And it's really hard to narrow it down. And I think that's just the beauty and the blessing of Black History Month, is that, and with the more wrestling grows and the more Black people that get involved in wrestling of all diasporas, is that there's always so many people to highlight, but there's only 28 days. And it's just like, God dang it, I wish I could do this person, or I wish wish I could highlight this person, or I wish I could highlight this person from the past, the present, and future, you know. And it's hard, but I'm glad that, with love and inspiration, we were able to highlight the people we were able to highlight. I've also seen people like Public Enemies podcast highlighting people with their innovative and beautiful, artistically gorgeous graphics and everything. So I just try my best to add to that. But then of course, Women's History Month is next month. So we do have more people to highlight. We have more women to highlight. So of course, we're going to keep the history making stuff going throughout the month of March and keep celebrating those, whether they're Black women, Hispanic women, everyone. So it's gonna be really awesome. But like I said, there is a lot to discuss this week, and hopefully, with technology being what it is, we can, be able to move forward with that. And then if not, we'll just start over, um, but not start over completely. So, Bianca,
Yes, ma'am.
how did you feel about wrestling as a whole this week? Did you feel like this road to WrestleMania truly like hitting hard for you? Do you feel that we are on a promising road to WrestleMania, or is it just, inching slower and slower for you?
Well, came by really fast. I felt like
Mm-hmm.
just had WrestleMania like yesterday. um, it's not hitting yet. I
Mm-hmm.
think mid March, early April, it will start to hit, or at
Mm-hmm.
least when more Hall of Famers get announced. That's
Mm-hmm.
when we know we're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's just not hitting yet. I don't
Hmm.
know. It's weird, but it will. It will hit. I just hope that this WrestleMania doesn't get me mad. That they do something right. That they do things right, because I expected a lot from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I expected a lot more from Stone Cold. I knew he would come out, but I didn't know he would do that. Like the attendance, like they could have allowed him to do a lot more. I wanted more whats. I wanted like Jey Uso to be there, so a what Yeet Storm can erupt. That would have been a WrestleMania moment.
I mean,
um,
but here's the thing though, we did have a moment. I mean, because Jey Uso did win, the World Heavyweight Championship. So that was a pretty big WrestleMania moment. Just being present for that, I can say from my perspective, witnessing that was very breathtaking, especially being a fan and watching him grow from being a tag team guy to a, single star. I feel like, watching him win that title was, a huge moment in and of itself. And everybody likes the nostalgia of
mhm,
WrestleMania, and you like seeing those older stars like Stone Cold, come out there and have fun and everything. But the reality is that, they can't really do what they used to do.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
there's really not a lot of fighting or a lot of things that they can do. And I do understand that even with the discourse of WrestleMania over these more recent years, um there have been lots of fans who feel like the luster of WrestleMania has been lost a little bit, and they feel like it's not as prestigious as it once was.
yeah,
And I don't know why that is, because I know personally for me as a fan, WrestleMania is honestly my favorite PLE of the year, and I'm just always excited for WrestleMania.
same,
So
yeah,
it's just like I never feel like, oh well, the luster is gone. I just low key feel like for me, WrestleMania is just the awesomeness that it is, and nothing will really ever take away from that. But I'll
yeah,
never take away anybody's feelings about how they feel about the road there, or how they feel like it's not as grand or a spectacle as it used to be, or the whole 2 days thing and all of it. Because I don't know, I feel okay about it.
there was something so special about just WrestleMania being just one day, like 4 to 7 hours, just nonstop action. I miss that time. Oh my god.
Well, I kind of miss it too, I kind of miss it too a little bit, but at the same time, as a person that's getting older,
Oh, girl.
realistically, I do prefer the 2 days because WrestleMania can be a lot. So I feel like if they were to go back to 1 day now, I'd be like, huh? No, but I'd enjoy it either way, but at the same time, I'd be like, yeah, I like the 2 days. But
I got used to it.
I honestly feel like, WrestleMania is doing pretty okay for where wrestling is now in the modern age.
I
And
agree.
like I said, nostalgia, of course, plays into things where you sort of look back on things and you're just like, oh, well, I remember it was like this.
Yeah.
But, times evolve and things change, people change, and sometimes that is, for the better, but that's not to say that you can't hold on to those
Right.
memories of the past either.
I love nostalgia so
So,
much. Oh my god.
me too. I love nostalgia as well, but at the same time, if you don't evolve, then things will just stay the same.
Right. The more things
Um
change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah, and of course, if you're not able to evolve, then, you know, you're just sort of left behind and you're stuck. And speaking of stuck, I
Oh, honey.
have to get to and getting on the road to WrestleMania, we have to discuss what's going on in the Women's World Championship picture. Liv Morgan, of course, won the Women's Royal Rumble this year after years of actually being in the Rumble, being in every single one and not winning or being so close but no cigar. She has actually won the Rumble and she has now officially made her choice and she has chosen to face Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. And this choice came on this past Monday on Raw. And I was relatively thrilled when she said she was going to face off against Stephanie. But there was something more that I wanted to discuss when it comes to this program and what's going on. Now, when this Raw aired, um, I think everyone to a degree was coming off of the heels of watching, the great representation from the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny and just watching him, defiantly performing that entire show in Spanish. And I feel that this promo here was probably one of the best promos I'd ever seen
Agreed.
from any woman. And
Yeah.
the idea that Stephanie Vaquer did it all in Spanish was just wonderful for me. Um Bianca, how did you feel in this promo before I go off into more of my tangent?
The whole thing, I loved it. The way Dominic made it hilarious by translating for her. I don't even know. I hope I hope he was saying to her what she was actually saying in Spanish and not just like whatever. Oh, but that would have still been hilarious. But either way, great. Um, she was talking about. I think I saw a translation. She was talking about like I think she talked about something along the lines of like where she came from
Mm-hmm.
and like how she fought and how long it took for her to be where she is
Yeah.
today. And it was just very heartfelt. And and with Liv, you never know what she's thinking. But I think in this moment, like you can see she was very interested and like very like in tune, or she was locked in. She knew she can tell how passionate Stephanie is, and she could like the Super Bowl. I didn't understand it, but like I felt the vibe of the
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl and halftime. Like like in this picture, you can tell like she can like feel the vibe and the passion. Um, while Dominic is translating for her, and the whole thing was just great. Yeah, top
Yeah.
this. this promo is definitely an all-timer for me. Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because it's like I said in the last episode. It's like even though you couldn't really of course understand because WWE posted the translated version of the promo afterward. It's like even though if you were watching it live you couldn't tell what she was saying, you could still tell that it was very intense and Dominic was there translating everything. And it's like you said, Liv was very locked in as to what she was saying, and she felt the vibe of what it was. And even with Dominic translating it to her, I think we've reached a point where a lot of the bravado that Liv has had over these past 2 years with the Judgment Day is now being called into question. She's being challenged in a way that is definitely new to her. Stephanie is not just challenging her as a competitor, she's challenging her as a woman.
Mm.
Um, as well, because it's like within that promo she told her, look, like when you talk about how you worked hard, ma'am, but when you started your career in WWE. I know, Bianca, this might predate your fandom, but when Liv started in WWE, like she was in NXT, like when it was just black and gold and on the WWE network, and a lot of people compared her to Carmella slash Leah Vandale because of how they used to dress and how similar they were. And it was a while before she was able to make herself truly like stand out, later on as a member of the Riot Squad and then being her own woman. And yeah, she did work hard through that. And then she did go through her hardships even before that, from coming from poverty and telling her story and how she was able to bring her mom out of poverty and her family as well. But you also have this woman in Stephanie Vaquer who came from Chile and said that at one point, wrestling wasn't so much of a thing. She went back and corrected it. She said wrestling wasn't so much of a thing. She was her way to get training in order to be, who she is. And the idea that she had to work as hard as she did, is literally a miracle and a testament to Stephanie's hard work. And by her definition, she has worked a lot harder than Liv has had. But she said, Liv, you had the best doctors, you had the best trainers, all of that. Meanwhile, she had to get in the mud. And it's very different when it's really a different conversation that you're having when it comes to privilege. You have this woman of color who had to get it out the mud and get it from nothing. Whereas you have Liv who sort of had the best of everything. And she is being challenged in a very new way when it comes to that. And I'm really excited. This promo made me very excited to see how Liv is going to be challenged in a very new way, because we've seen her go up against Rhea Ripley and her brag about saying, I took your Judgment Day, I took your man, I did this and da 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 da. But at the core of that, who are you really? Like, when you take away the fact that you stole the Judgment Day and went on this revenge tour, when you take away the fact that you have a Mysterio on your arm as a romantic partner slash X Factor in your in your matches, who are you?
This reminds me of a show I really love called RuPaul's Drag Race. They always talk about RuPaul always talks about drag reveals who you are, and RuPaul and the judges want to know the person behind the drag persona. Like, it's outside of your performance. Like, who are you inside? Who are you as a human? Who are you as a person? So I understand where you're coming from in terms with Liv Morgan. I in this predicament, because like you said, she's been attached to Judgment Day, and many groups in her past, in her WWE career. So
right.
So like branching, I like to see how she is without Dominic, without the Judgment Day. Who's like, like be solo for once. Like who is Liv Morgan? Who is, I won't say her government name because like I respect her so much, but who is Liv Morgan? Who is the woman under Liv Morgan? Like I what like one of the things I love about Liv Morgan, the woman behind Liv Morgan, one of my favorite moments ever is when she won her first women's championship and she said, I'm gonna buy my mom a home. That
Mm-hmm.
was like that has stuck with me forever and ever. And that I relate to that because I didn't know she suffered from she went through poverty until you said that now. So these are the things like we as wrestling fans are blessed to know or are fortunate to know, and we don't expect like you to like sh- share your life to like all your whole life story. Just like I mean, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be open, but not too open. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope I made. I went on a I went on a tangent. Just I
No,
hope.
I get. No, it's okay. I get what you mean. And then I really do get where you're going with that, cuz it's just like Liv, it's like it's been a minute since we've seen her be gritty and hungry to prove herself, because she has, accomplished a lot, but also at the same time, she's been very like hell bent on revenge and hell bent on taking everything. But now that it seems like now that you have everything, who are you really? Like,
Yeah.
is that hungry girl still there, or are you just satisfied with the amount of privilege and with the amount of, things that you've accrued now? And so now that she's won the Royal Rumble and she has, of course, challenged Stephanie Vaquer and hit her and snuck attacked her, after feigning like, oh, well, I thought a lot about what you said, Stephanie, and I guess I have been really privileged. Yeah, we're going to see if we're really about to see how far her bravado is going to take her going up against someone like Stephanie. Because it's like I've mentioned before on my show, like the first time I saw Stephanie Vaquer wrestle, it was in New Japan, and she fought against Mercedes Moné in the New Japan Strong Women's Tournament. And the first time I saw her wrestle, I was just like, yo, like, who is this woman? Where did she come from? And there's just a grittiness and there's just a toughness and an edge that Stephanie has that Liv has not come across just yet. And I'm ready to see how she's going to step up to her at WrestleMania and if it's really going to be enough. Because with all of her skill, I feel like for Liv, it's going to be at least 35% of her skill, but then like there's a huge chunk of it that's going to be bravado. And we're going to see if that bravado and the privilege that she has had with the Judgment Day and with everything else is actually going to work. But if it doesn't work at WrestleMania and she loses, we might see a different side of Liv. And it's going to be interesting to see that along with the unraveling of the Judgment Day that we are slowly seeing. So I'm pumped that Liv chose Stephanie. Liv really had a tall order either way to choose between her and Jade. Um, so yeah, I'm pumped that Liv Morgan did choose Stephanie Vaquer. I'm excited. It's gonna be a really fun match up, and I just can't wait to see how much further this story is gonna go.
I love that these are new generations of NXT, generations of NXT or
Oh yes.
NXT's past. I
Oh
love this.
yeah, absolutely. Like literally, it's interesting when you think of it that way. Because it's like we mentioned earlier, like Liv was a part of that sort of that first or second crop of NXT people with black and gold, and then you have Stephanie, who is, in the more modern of NXT. But
Yeah,
it's amazing, what that program does for people, and you see it manifest fully now, and it's really great. So I'm really excited about that. And then you have Dom, who spent a little bit of time in NXT, but not so much. But at the same time, either way, I'm really pumped about this. I'm really excited about this match. So it's going to be good. And I'm pretty sure my girl Stephanie is going to come out with the win because that's what Stephanies do. We win. So yeah, love it. Now, of course, when it comes to more heartbreak, when it comes to female friendships in WWE and NXT, we have got to talk about the disillusion of Zaruka. So, just to recap, Sol Ruka and Zarya were in a tag team match against the Ren QCC, and whoever secured the pinfall for that tag team match was able to become the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. And Zarya was very much looking to have this opportunity for herself because in her mind, Sol was always getting a lot of opportunities with her being in the Royal Rumble and her also being a speed champion and also being Women's North American champion. In their friendship, there was a lot of Sol being, out in front and Zarya not really being, highlighted as much outside of tag team work. But even though they would have opportunities at the women's tag team titles and even with the knockouts tag team titles in TNA, it's like they would always wind up falling short in that regard. And now everything has come to a head. So Ruka wound up getting the pin. So now she had that match against JC Jane this Tuesday. And just when it looked like everything was happy and peppy, Zarya speared Sol after the bell rang and proceeded to beat up on her. And Sol, being the fighter that she was, wanted to still go forward, with the match. But JC Jane took advantage with her rolling encore and won the match like in a few seconds. Even a minute, if you could even say that, and retained the title. So in the midst of this, after this happens, Sol Ruka gets attacked by Zarya. She adds insult to injury by slamming her into the commentary desk, and then she grabs her head and says, "Snatch that soul, bitch," and then kisses her on the forehead. And that was the end of Zaruka. It's like you hate. Now, as a wrestling fan, let me just say, I do not like being the type of wrestling fan that sees a tag team being created and then just immediately jump to, when is this gonna end? I think that's toxic. I feel like that notion and that mindset is very toxic because I feel like that takes away from the idea that you can enjoy what the tag team is offering you right here and now when you're trying to figure out how it's going to end down the road.
Yeah.
Now, of course, us as wrestling fans, we do see, like, oh, well, how long this is going to be a thing. But I feel like with Zaruka, it was interesting to see them come together and watch Sol kind of be like, oh, well, even though we're different, we can still be together like this. And it was interesting and fun to see them become friends and, become acquaintances and then become friends and then get close and have their t-shirts and then see them sort of embody this opposites attract type of sisterhood that people gravitated to and loved. And then to see them even fight each other for opportunities, because they even fought each other in that ladder match for the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver last year. And to see them even still have their friendship, it was just so sweet and just so endearing. And so we fast forward to now, and now it's over. And it's just like, oh my God, bless it. It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad because they were such a beautiful friendship. And I just can't help but think about that one time where Zarya accidentally speared Sol and she was just like, no. And she was so sad about it. And she was just taking care of her and rubbing her hair and was like, no, I'm sorry. Like moments like that where, it was very tender and now it's no longer tender. And now it's just hate and resentment there. And it's just painful. So Bianca, share your thoughts because you brought this up. You brought this to me, and I was just like, yeah, we need to discuss this.
Yes, because I am still shocked and conflicted because before the match even started, there's this lore, this wrestling lore that I read. That's when when someone holds the championship longer than like 5 seconds, that's key that that person will lose the championship. So JC Jane was holding that championship like up for a long time. So in my mind, I said, okay, she's gonna lose. Soul Ruka will win. And then Zarya punched. What did she do? She punched her.
No, she speared her.
She speared her, right?
Yeah.
And the gasp that I let out. I said, no, that was not. This usually never. That's not how. This is not how it's supposed to happen. Soul Ruka was supposed to win, but oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and that made me mad. Oh my god, I wanted Soul Ruka to win, and then Zarya sabotaged her and cost her the chance. My gosh, I was not expecting that at all, or too soon. Not that night. Maybe on the pay-per-view or PLE, but not that night. Jeez, I haven't moved from that.
I completely understand that. It's one of those moments where you really can't move from it. I've had plenty of moments like that, so I completely get where you're coming from, Bianca. Like, it was very painful, and then what was even more painful is that I just can't help but think about how Soul was sitting on Zarya's shoulders, like literally minutes before, and she was spinning her around, and everything seemed like everything was okay, and it just wasn't. It just all came to a head.
Same.
And then another thing that made me sad was just the fact that Soul Ruka's gear was super cute that night, and I was just like, oh my god, what is she gonna do in this gear? Only for her to get beat in it, and it just hurt me. And also on a personal level, to watch Soul Ruka lose that opportunity during Black History Month as we're wrapping up, I was just like, no. But other than that, I hate to see this tag team go. It does make me sad. But there has been this part of me that's been wanting to see Zarya sort of step out on her own as well. Because when she got signed to NXT, I heard so many good things about her. Like, I was reading Pro Wrestling Illustrated and heard about her and read about her and her accomplishments in the indies before she got signed. So I was just like, okay, well, with everything that all of these people are saying about her, I want to see, what's going to come next. And then when she debuted as Zarya, she just had this aura about her that just gave off bad assery. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on? So, there was a part of me that was really waiting for this type of moment for her. And I think now we're going to see more veracity from her. And even though it's coming at the expense of one of our favorite women's tag teams of their modern age, it's still going to make for very entertaining stuff. And then on top of that, with them announcing Stand and Deliver being earlier in April and not during WrestleMania weekend for the first time, I feel like this is definitely going to be one of those heated rivalries, no pun intended. This is going to be one of those heated rivalries that we're going to see leading to the road to Stand and Deliver. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it, even though my heart is broken.
Do you think this will lead to one of them going to the main rosters anytime soon?
I feel like if it does, it'll lead to Soul going to the main roster more than likely.
Yeah.
Because she's made lots of appearances, alongside Zarya and also without her as well. She had that singles match against Bayley at the John Cena Saturday Night's main event.
Yeah, I love that.
So I feel like, if anything, I guess it just depends on how long this feud is going to be.
Yeah.
But I feel like if anything, it could push Soul to the main roster. That is, if they don't want her to win the NXT Women's Championship, I feel like she could go to the main roster because she's ready.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, Soul Ruka is more than ready to go to the main roster. It's just a matter. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I predict it will be the Raw after Mania. She will make her debut because that's been all that's when all the debuts and returns happen, and I think that's where she will make her debut. That if not, is that either that or WrestleMania, one of the nights.
Yeah, it could be then. You just never really know because it was a minute before even Trick Williams made his debut. So I think it's just a matter of just timing, and like I said, it's a matter of when and not a matter of if. It's like it's gonna happen. So either way, this is gonna be an amazing platform for both of these ladies to show what they can do. I'm excited, but I'm heartbroken.
I know.
So R.I.P. Zaruka. Oh God, we loved you so much. So speaking of more heartfelt things, as we move into the week, we got to talk about AJ Styles. Oh my God. This man here got all Yes, his hair. I used to always say, with as fabulous as his hair is, he could have really been like in a Clairol commercial,
Thank you.
or like not a Maybelline commercial, or a Pantene commercial or something like that, because that's how fabulous his hair is. But it's never too late. It's never too late. You never know what could happen. But of course, Raw was in Atlanta, which is, very special in terms of its wrestling history. And also, just for me, the last time I was in Atlanta, that was for Evolution. And yeah, and it was just an amazing time that I'll never forget. My heart is still there. But of course, this was where we had the tribute to AJ Styles, because he's from Gainesville, Georgia, which isn't that far from Atlanta. So they did the tribute for him, and at the very end they basically dedicated the last half of the show to him, and it was so beautiful and very heartfelt. I have to talk about the montage that they showed. WWE deserves so many awards for the montages that they produce, and they produced this amazing montage of him to the song "Higher" by Creed.
One of my favorite songs of all time. I hate the slander to that song. Stop the slander. Top 10, top 20, top 5 greatest rock songs of all time. Stop the slander. Stop it.
Exactly. It's an amazing song. It is. I feel the exact same way, Bianca. I love that song so much. Like, I was not expecting it, because I think at one point I had looked down on my phone once the montage started, and then I looked up, and then when I heard "Let's Go There," and I was like, "Wait a minute, they're doing the song!" And I started just losing it, because that is like, it's a very inspirational song, and it just fit AJ's vibe, because throughout that montage they showed him jumping off of the top rope, giving phenomenal forearms, just doing all the things that we know AJ Styles to do. And when you just look at somebody like him, you just can't help but feel something, you just can't help but just feel inspired and feel like you can reach your goals and your aspirations. This man worked really hard to get to where he's at, and he got his flowers on Monday, and it was so lovely to see. He came out and gave his speech and essentially renewed his wedding vows to his wife. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I'm a romantic, okay? I am a hopeless romantic. So watching him say that his wife was the biggest flex of his life was just so beautiful for me. And him saying, "Look, you've never slowed me down. You never told me to quit, and tell her you're the one." Just, it just sent me into overdrive. I was like, you know what? This is what love is about. This is what love is about. And I love it. And then she was just telling him, that, she loved him. And it was just so sweet. and him, shouting out his kids and everything for being there and just saying that he wasn't a full-time dad because of how wrestling takes you away. And but in the montage they showed, him talking to his children and how very involved they were
Yeah.
with telling him and watching him and stuff. So that was really nice. And it was just really good for him to say thank you to everybody and to all the fans and to everybody he's ever worked with and stuff. And he left his gloves in the ring because he didn't want to do it at the Rumble. He wanted to come home and do it. And that
makes sense.
Yeah, that was very beautiful and heartfelt, and it was great. Only to move, and just when you thought it couldn't get any better and more inspirational than that, it gets even greater
What happened?
because his family, are giving him hugs and everything after they find out
Why?
that
What happened?
AJ is going into the Hall of Fame this year because The Undertaker comes out, and everybody's like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? Everybody screams and pops for The Undertaker. So Biker Taker comes out and he looks at AJ and tells him, look, there's a saying that if you see me coming and you're already gone. And everybody was like, wait, what is this? Because he said we have unfinished business. And everybody's like, oh my God, what is exactly? Everybody just went to the one more match thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, one more match. But, because of course AJ was the one who Undertaker had his retirement match with at WrestleMania 2020 in the pandemic time. And so he looks at him and he says, look, but if you see me coming, then that means you're going. And he told him, it is my, esteemed honor to let you know that you're going into the Hall of Fame this year. And I smiled so big because AJ deserves this.
Yeah.
He deserves this so much. He just does. He is the embodiment of he is one of the embodiments, one of the pillars for modern wrestling as it stands now. Like without him, you don't have Xavier Woods, who's also from Georgia and who shared a little bit of his story with AJ Styles, inspiring him and helping him move forward in his career. You don't have a lot of the Kenny Omegas or a lot of the people you see in AEW. You just don't have a lot of people without AJ. So seeing him get his flowers for his retirement and then get inducted into the Hall of Fame was just chef's kiss. So congratulations to AJ Styles. You are forever phenomenal. You are forever a fave in Alabama because look, every time SmackDown Live came to Alabama, we would go up for him because when people say ain't nobody breaking this redneck, look, this is the South.
I have some thoughts about all this.
This is the South. Yes.
I have some thoughts about. Oh, first of all, I remember messaging you about the AJ Styles Hall of Fame and how I thought it was, and how I thought John Cena would be inducted before him. I didn't realize that AJ Styles has been wrestling longer than John Cena. So when you put it that way, I mean, it makes sense that AJ Styles was inducted before John Cena. It was just weird. I just thought John Cena would get inducted before, but regardless, AJ Styles deserves it. And I will definitely I will really miss hearing his song.
Me too.
I will miss that song is top 5, 6 greatest entrance songs of all time. I really want to see Snoop Dogg Crip Walk to that song because he would. Girl,
oh
look,
my God.
girl. Oh my God. Imagine at the Hall of Fame. Oh my God. What? I will miss that song. Like, AJ Styles, this man is bold to have that as a theme song. I am so happy he has that as his entrance song. I will never forget when he rolled on that low rider at WrestleMania. What was it, 2 years ago or SummerSlam?
It was 2 or 3 years ago, I know, because
Yeah.
I was at that one because I was at the one that was the one in LA.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
He was with his son. And then
Oh wait, he was because that was AJ when he was getting ready to fight Dominic, wasn't it? Because he came
yes.
out there in that lowrider to try to
Yes.
like, because they were doing basically an entire tribute to Eddie in that whole match. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're right. That
He got
wasn't
some
Russell.
swag. That man
Yeah,
got
you're right. That was
he
fun.
was it SummerSlam?
I can't remember. I'm blanking.
Whatever it was,
It
that man
might
had
have been.
he had some swag. Oh my goodness. What? And then um we talk about the Undertaker and his and AJ Styles match at Wrestle. Oh,
Yeah, that was a
honey.
cinematic match, and it was so crazy because it's so crazy because I have not watched that WrestleMania back.
Yeah.
That WrestleMania from the pandemic, you can definitely tell it was a labor of love, to the fans because we weren't able to be there,
Yeah.
and other fans weren't able to be there because of the pandemic and everything. And they really tried their best to still put on a great show for us, which is essentially why we have the 2-night WrestleMania like we do now.
Yeah.
But like that cinematic match where Undertaker and AJ, fought each other and it was Undertaker's retirement match was really awesome. I
Mm.
really enjoyed it. And for a moment, it low-key looked like AJ was no longer with us during that match because, his glove was sticking out, but then eventually he did reappear. So it made sense that The Undertaker was the one to tell him you're going into the Hall of Fame, which also led to a lot of people online discussing the
No, no,
fact
I
that,
want to talk about that.
yeah, this,
I was leading up to that. About the
yeah,
significance about the Undertaker inducting AJ Styles into the Hall of Fame and how like they connected to like a funeral and like in morgues, Undertakers help guide deceased people to their final resting places in the cemetery, and now the Undertaker will be helping to guide retired legends to their career's final resting places in the Hall of Fame.
right.
My God,
Isn't
what
that deep?
amazing! And then in the American Badass Undertaker, that's like, Dead Man, you're my favorite, but I love you down. But there's something about a man riding a motorcycle. Oh my god. Anyway, before
Yeah, it's really deep stuff when you really think about that, because it's just like, because I didn't even think about it like that, but then I had to really think back. He was the one who told Stephanie that she was going into the Hall of Fame at WrestlePalooza. And I
yeah,
thought it was because, maybe they were friends, and also because, at one point they had a program with each other in the 90s where he wanted to sacrifice her on a giant cross.
that was so
Um
weird.
yeah, that was forever ago, but oh my god, the 90s, what are you going to do? I thought that was kind of what it was, but the idea that this was his second time doing it and saying, "Hey, AJ, you're going into the Hall of Fame." And then with him saying, if you see me coming, that means you're going. That
Yeah,
lets me know, that makes me feel like that now every time Undertaker comes on somewhere, somebody is going into the Hall of Fame, and I think that's nice.
I'm waiting for that to happen to John Cena and CM Punk. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Woo! Oh my god, that would be something, especially with CM Punk with their history and him
Yeah.
messing with the urn of Paul Moody. I mean, what's his name? Paul Bear.
Yeah, Paul Bearer, yeah.
Wow.
Another Alabama legend, dearly
What is wrong with
departed.
that?
Yeah, Paul Bearer's from Alabama. Like
Wow.
if there's a lot of great wrestling history and a lot of great wrestling icons and legends that are from the state of Alabama. And it was my mission sort of in the beginning to sort of, search and figure that out, because I just think that just adds to the allure of where I'm from. Even though, a lot of people might not know it, I think that's just a way for me to sort of have a sense of pride in being from my state. I mean, I had Pride anyway, but it just sort of adds it further because it's in my, wheelhouse of fandom. So I like that. So yes, Paul Bearer is from Alabama for those who don't know. I did do a series a while back about wrestlers from Alabama, and I might need to start it again. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, it's great that The Undertaker can serve in this role of leading souls to the Hall of Fame. I like it. I like it a
Amazing.
lot.
I love
And
that.
it's a pretty cool class so far. Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, we still have 2 more months. A month and some change before we, before we go to the ultimate Hall of Fame and just realize what's going to go on and who's going to go in. But the first 2 choices, pretty solid. Love it.
The Undertaker did that with Shawn Michaels, did he? I know he did it with Triple H. Did he do it?
No, I think Shawn Michaels told Triple H he was going in.
Oh, that was special.
That was very special. Now, I don't remember who did Shawn Michaels. I think they just announced that Shawn Michaels was going in.
Okay, and then
because that was under a different regime. So yeah, that was forever ago. So yeah. But either way, the Hall of Fame is pretty cool this year so far. So
I just don't want to stay up till 1 a.m. again.
Well, I mean, of course, see, that's the thing about streaming. Okay, you can watch it later. But big ups to AJ Styles. I'm so glad he got his flowers. And here again, this is another lesson in watching our faves be able to retire on their own steam and focus on what truly matters and live out the rest of their lives healthy and, intact.
In their glory.
Yeah, and in their glory, right. And I'm really grateful for that. And hopefully the older we get, the more we get to see our faves get to, retire and live great lives after that point. And then maybe one day there won't be a dark side of the ring and there won't be any types of documentaries about crazy stuff like that. And we'll live in a better world.
Do you think Ric Flair will ever retire?
Huh?
Do you think Ric Flair will ever actually legit retire?
I mean, well, he is legitimately retired. I feel like he just goes on social media and says he could still go because he still has the fire and the spirit within him. But ultimately, he just turned 77 this week. So,
oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I really feel like he is going to chill, especially since the last time he talked about it jokingly on Twitter, Charlotte Flair told him absolutely not. So he's done. He really might be done.
Okay.
For real. Because he did have a last match.
Yeah, because I remember seeing him in the ring a few years ago, a year or 2 ago, or some time ago.
Yeah, he was in a tag team match with Andrade, who was his son-in-law at the time. And that was his final match. So he really is done.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody has anything to say about it, especially Charlotte with the way she chimed in a few weeks ago, he's done. So yeah, he's finished. So yeah. So with that being said, and with us talking about everything that happened in wrestling this week, we have to move into our Elimination Chamber predictions. Of course, Elimination Chamber, like we said earlier, is the last stop on the road to WrestleMania, and it will be emanating from Chicago, Illinois, which is a city that has a lot of great wrestling history. And for me, especially, is the place where CM Punk did make his grand return to WWE after close to 10 years away. And I was there for it, and it was awesome. And
you were there for AEW?
No, I was there for the WWE return.
Oh, girl, how was that? You need to tell me. Give me the tea. I need to know. I cry every time I watch that.
Look, we don't have time to get into all of it. I'll probably tell you the rest of it offline, but just know it was wild and and it was a party, and I cannot believe I was blessed enough to be there. Honestly. Honestly. It was nuts.
I cry every time I watch it.
Yeah, and his return in AEW was really awesome too, because I was watching that and I couldn't believe it was happening. I found out about it like on Twitter as it
Yeah.
was happening, and then I turned on the channel and there he was. But either way, I feel like only CM Punk can have two iconic returns in his hometown.
I love a good CM Punk return in Chicago. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my
The
God.
stuff of legend. But so like we said, this pay-per-view, this PLE Elimination Chamber is going to be in Chicago. Of course, last year it was in Toronto, and a lot of crazy stuff happened last year, which makes me wonder how this year is going to top it. Considering we had Jade Cargill revealing that Naomi was her attacker, we had Bianca win the chamber and ultimately, get in her triple threat with Rhea and Io for the title. We
Acting
had
amazing.
and then of course you had John Cena and that heel turn, babe. Yeah.
Oh, that was last year. Oh my God.
That was at Elimination Chamber last year. So hey.
Really?
Yes.
Was that the same Elimination Chamber where like Bianca Belair was like,
yeah, because because she was reacting to Jade attacking Naomi. Yeah, that was the same one.
See how fast a year goes by?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wrestling time is nuts.
Insane.
There's a theory. I told you. There's a theory I have about wrestling time. It's not like regular people time. It's not.
No. Wow.
Yes. But we get into our predictions, and of course we're going to start with the women. And of course, we have a Chicago native by marriage going up against Becky Lynch. Welcome to the big time, the greatest women's wrestler of all time in her own mind. Going up against an icon, AJ Lee, for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This excites me.
Same.
On a very deep level, because I feel like every time AJ has a match like this, it just further hits me that she is out here fighting for titles and fighting in opportunities that did not exist for the women when she was there. And we heard a lot about that in her promo a few weeks ago, when she talked about how when she was in WWE during her initial run, all the women were fighting for one butterfly title, that Divas Championship, which is still cute to me to this day. Like it was a Divas Championship. And then she also mentioned that, look, just because I'm a little humble doesn't mean I don't know who I am.
Okay.
She literally said, like, look, I know who the hell I am, because there is a women's division before AJ Lee, and then there's one after AJ Lee. And I saw people on Twitter be a little bit upset about what she said. And it irritated me because I remember, because we're not going to sit here and have revisionist history. I remember when AJ, before AJ would win the Divas Championship, and this is not to negate any of the other divas that held the title before she did. Never, ever, 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 ever. But these women were not taken as seriously. Their athleticism wasn't taken seriously, and they only had a few minutes or maybe even a few seconds of a match. And
or cut.
or they were cut. And it's like me and you talk about WrestleMania 27 all the time. And I remember to this day being in Atlanta and watching Eve Torres, who was the Divas champion at that time, in a backstage segment with Mae Young, a women's wrestling legend, and The Rock, who hosted that, and not on the card. Not even on the card. The only women's match they had on the card was a mixed tag with Trish Stratus, Snooki from Jersey Shore, bless her heart, and John Morrison going up against Dolph Ziggler, and I think Lay Cool, maybe. I think it was Lay Cool. And so and that wasn't even a title match. That was the only women's match on the card. The Divas Championship was not defended until WrestleMania 30, when AJ had the Divas Invitational, and that was in New Orleans. So Yeah, it was really different, very different back then. Like Eve Torres was not on the card for WrestleMania 27. It was not taken seriously at all. So you fast forward after that point, AJ, when she won that Divas Championship, she had it tattooed on the back of her neck. It was very serious for her. She wanted to defend it and she wanted the women to prove her wrong. And that is exactly what those women actually tried to do. Um, and I will also never forget how, to a degree, the past regime tried to villainize AJ, um, because she didn't want to be, a part of the Total Divas part of things. And then she gave her pipe bomb and essentially just put her stuff on the table and said, look, prove me wrong, come take this title from me. And they never did. And it only took Saraya / Paige to take that title off of her the day after WrestleMania 30. So this is where we're at. And it's just nuts to think that after AJ, all this progression has happened. The women's evolution has happened. And this is where we're at. The women have an Intercontinental Championship. And now she gets to fight for it.
Not only that, the women have their own pay-per-view, PLE.
Exactly. And they have their own matches with the men, their own Royal Rumble, their own Survivor Series, and all the things. And AJ was a part of that change. So we thank her and we give her her flowers.
Always love you, AJ.
With that being said, who do you think is going to win this championship match between AJ and Becky Lynch?
Now, I will say, because I have met them both. I have met these women. One of their husbands walked by me in Los Angeles. They are both sweet women. With that said, I am Team April Jeanette Mendez Brooks to win this. I have met her 3 times, and her husband walked past me with Dearly Departed, oh good old Larry Baby in that cart. But yeah, and that I was blessed that day when he passed by me. Anyway, AJ for the win. Absolutely. In Chicago, if she doesn't win, I will definitely. That would be blasphemous if she loses in her city, in her hometown by marriage. What? AJ not winning? Are you kidding? That's like no one cheering for CM Punk in Chicago. That's like impossible.
I can kind of understand where you're coming from with that. It's kind of hard to bet against AJ in her hometown by marriage. But the thing is, when you have someone, or at least someone in my opinion, like Becky, who is just desperate to hang on to, any level of glory that she has, and also desperate to pin conspiracies and her failures onto everybody else. I just feel like if AJ does not win, it'll just go on into WrestleMania, which is something that I would love for AJ, because here again, she only had one big WrestleMania match. So if she were to go on to WrestleMania to challenge Becky, I would be okay with that. And I would love if AJ won in Chicago tomorrow. That would be fantastic. Best case scenario. But I'm actually predicting, I want AJ to win, but I'm predicting that Becky Lynch is going to do something underhanded to retain the championship.
I think so too. AJ
and
WrestleMania moment though.
Yeah, she deserves another one, at the very least. But I want AJ to win, but I'm predicting that ultimately Becky's going to do something underhanded to retain the championship.
Maybe AJ wins and then Becky attacks. Or someone does something to make it a no contest.
Like, Becky could do anything and make it a non-contest, or she could take the title, and make it a DQ or something like that by, doing something illegal.
Someone will interfere. Ugh, I hate it when that happens. No.
Mm-hmm. She could do anything. Becky is a very crafty soul, and when she is desperate, she gets very cagey. So I'm predicting that she will retain the women's IC title. As much as we might not want it, she's going to retain it. I just feel like she's going to retain it. So, but I am excited for the match as a whole.
Yeah, I am too.
Because every time they went up against each other at WrestlePalooza, it just felt like, a big deal. Anytime they were fighting each other in that mixed tag. So I'm excited to see them face off against each other one-on-one. It's gonna be cool. I'm pumped.
And it's two, like we say, it's two generations of women's wrestling. Not only generations, they're pioneers of
they are
women's wrestlers. So we wouldn't have these matches if it wasn't for them, or more specifically because of it. Well, yeah, because of them. Yeah. We can't forget that Becky Lynch is a part of the Four Horsewomen of wrestling, and AJ is a pioneer. So this is and this is representation for divas, not women, all women's wrestlers, all women's wrestling fans. I love this for us.
I love it too.
On the cusp of Women's History Month.
How
cool is that?
It's really cool. It's really cool. So I am really excited about the match, and I do love the generational part that you did mention.
Yeah.
Because that cannot be understated at all. So I'm excited. Everyone's excited. This is gonna be fire. But I just love the promo that her and AJ had too, where AJ was like, "Look, you talk a big game, hit me, me," and
girl!
She was like, "Hit me," and Becky just kept looking at her like, and I'm just like, okay.
One of the things I love about AJ is she's so fearless and she's not scared. Like, oh my god, that when she did that, that reminded me of the scene from The Dark Knight when the Joker wanted Batman to run him. Have you seen The Dark Knight? When he wanted to run over him, and he's like, oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Wow. My gosh. I love a good AJ Lee promo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh. I love an AJ promo too, because she's just a great talker and she knows how to get under your skin.
Yes.
So
she's great on just like her husband, she's good on the mic and on commentary. And in the ring. Oh my god.
Nobody can touch her.
No. I love them so much. Oh my gosh. Oh, Larry baby. Oh.
Yes. Rest in peace to Larry.
Yes.
You were the best boy.
Oh my god. So that's why I can't have it. I want a dog, but I don't want a dog because I can't watch them. I don't want to see my baby die. I can't deal with that. There's a level
of opening yourself up to that vulnerability there, and I can understand the hesitation. But if it's what is grief without love persevering? So as we move forward, I'm having tech issues. It is what it
Oh,
is. So we're gonna move forward with the women's match. Now, of course, we have the women's elimination chamber match, which is going to be between Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, who sadly lost the women's tag team titles tonight.
the
Um, but mind you, the Irresistible Forces
yes.
won, and I am happy for Lash Legend winning her first championship ever in WWE. A championship which I felt like she should have been won, but you know, that's another story. Um, I honestly am so happy for Nia and Lash as the Irresistible Forces to win, but of course, Rhea is in the Elimination Chamber match. It's Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Raquel
Alexa Bliss,
Rodriguez,
yeah,
Alexa Bliss,
and Io
Kiana
Sky.
James. Kiana James, I don't think, and Asuka. Io Sky's not in it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
in terms of predictions, who do you see winning an Elimination Chamber for the women this year and earning a championship match against Jade Cargill at WrestleMania?
I'm looking at the names right now, and I've been thinking about this all day. I do want to see a Raquel Rodriguez win. I like her vibe. I love her aura. I love her essence. There's just something about her that's just like really cool, and it gives me a old school vibe. She has an old school vibe that I really appreciate, and I think I would love to see her win. I think it would be great to see a Raquel. I've grown to I have grown to become a fan, and I really do like her. I hope she wins. That would be something. Because we've already seen a Rhea Ripley win. Has she won? She's never won?
Rhea, no,
No?
Rhea. I don't think Rhea has ever won the Elimination Chamber match. The only two people in the Elimination Chamber who have won was Asuka. She's won one, and Alexa Bliss has won one.
Okay. So
Just
maybe.
those two.
Ooh. I really would like to see a Raquel Rodriguez win. That or a Rio. Oh my god. I don't know, it's just something about Raquel that just gives me winning vibes.
That's a solid prediction. That's a very solid prediction. You know, it feeds also into what we were talking about with Liv Morgan earlier and her being able to step up to Stephanie. Like, could you imagine a world where Raquel wins the Elimination Chamber tomorrow and then
Yeah,
goes to
absolutely.
WrestleMania, faces off against Jade, and then she wins the WWE Women's Championship, and then Liv loses? Can you imagine the tension that would cause?
The Judgment Day implodes.
Like, and they're already basically, you know, on their last leg
Yeah,
anyway. So can you imagine the tension that would cause if Raquel won the women's championship
you can see it
and
now.
then Liv wasn't women's world champion? Wouldn't
Mm.
that be a mess and a half?
Amazing. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Ooh, Jesus. But I would love that for Raquel, you know, because she's been working really hard and she deserves like a singles moment like that. That would be huge for
Yeah,
her. It would be huge.
yeah.
And I would, you know, and I would even love it if Kiana James won because she's, you know, proving that she's more than just Julia's business manager, you know, as of late, and which is something that I've wanted to see from her for a while. So I'm pumped about that too. So yeah, this is kind of hard for me to predict, honestly.
Yeah.
It's really hard because when I saw Jade and Rhea have that standoff tonight backstage, I was like, you know what? That could be a really badass type of feud if that happened that way. Rhea and Jade, that those are two mega stars, and I would love that. Oh, This is a very hard thing to predict.
I know. Yeah. But you can,
Mm.
you know, it would be cool having a Rhea win.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen enough Raquel Rodriguez wins.
Right.
So she deserves a chance.
I agree.
So, and she's trying, and like we talk about how it will be like for the Judgment Day to like, and how we're talking about like how the Judgment Day is imploding. That will like stir things up. That will.
Yeah, it would, but I feel like ultimately I'm predicting Rhea to win.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm predicting Rhea Ripley to win because that just screams WrestleMania to me. Rhea versus Jade just screams WrestleMania to me in such a big way that I just feel like it's too big to ignore. So, yeah, I'm going with Rhea Ripley.
I would go with Rhea and Raquel to win. Either one of them to win.
Yeah, those are two big solid choices there. I'm not mad at that.
Me neither.
I'm not mad at that at all. So, yeah. Like it's going to be pretty huge for the women
But then what if I was thinking though. But then like maybe when we talk about the championship. Okay. Maybe, okay. That's okay. Never mind. I haven't.
Okay.
I'm like,
okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I just definitely see I see Rhea winning, but I would love it if Kiana won, and I would even love it if Alexa Bliss won it a second time. Because quite honestly, I just feel like that would even add a wrinkle to things with her and Charlotte. But with Charlotte sort of crashing out and eating ice cream, which was so funny because I was just like, she's eating ice cream? Oh my god. Like I didn't think a woman who looked as amazing as she does actually ate ice cream. So to see her eating it like that, I was just like, bruh. Cause she's so wonderfully in shape that I was just like, you eating ice cream?
On her diet.
Yeah. It's just so much it's just so much discipline that you just know it just goes into these athletes looking the way that they do it. You're just like, you know what? I don't this is very surprising for me. Look at you eating ice cream. It's cool. So as we move forward from talking about the women still having tech issues, we do go into there is one quirky thing that's happening with Elimination Chamber tomorrow that we do need to discuss, and that is who is in the crate. Who is in the crate that's supposed to be open tomorrow?
Or what is in the crate?
Or what is in the crate? Bianca, what or who do you think is in this mystery crate that's been carted back and forth between Raw and SmackDown?
Well, first of all, seeing Johnny Gargano on top of that shows you that he's really DIY. With that said, I think it was funny. It's funny because DIY. I'm here every Friday, or Thursday. Take your pick. I maybe get a new championship, or what isn't that?
R-Truth said that, he did think that it was a Slammy, which could be true because back in the day, they did have those big Slammy awards. So I thought I feel like that was a pretty solid prediction, even though it was kind of silly because what in the world are we going to do with the Slammy now? But, I don't know. Honestly, there are two predictions that I'm going to make. The first one is I think it could be Danhausen, who used to be in AEW.
Who is that guy? I always hear him and see him on CM Punk's story. I know they're friends. Who is this ghost guy?
Yeah, Danhausen. Yeah, he was just like this. I don't want to call him a demon or anything, but he had like sort of like this scary, creepy, very evil, very thing that was going on. It was kind of funny in the indies, and then he had it going on in AEW for a long time until, things got kind of different and he wasn't really present on AEW television anymore. So he did post something interesting on Twitter where he posted a picture of the genie from Aladdin being freed. So he posted that, I think either yesterday or today. And I don't know if that is alluding to what tomorrow could bring or what, but it could be that. You never know. I really feel like it could be Danhausen. That's my first prediction. And my second prediction is that it could be just in any other person making a debut, but I honestly feel like it might very well be, even though this is a problematic person to choose, it could be Chris Jericho.
Oh God.
I know that, and I know that's a problematic thing to say, because he had a very complicated past when it came to allegations that he had against a wrestler named Kylie Ray, who was a part of the WWE ID system, but now she isn't anymore. But yeah, if you want to go read about that, you can. But I feel like it could be him because here again, he also has not been seen on AEW television for a while, so you just never know. And my third prediction is that maybe it could be Edge. I don't know. Adam Copeland. I don't know. But those are my three predictions as to what it could be. But here again, I'm always up for any surprises because I just want to have fun. So, yeah.
You think they would actually like roll out a person?
I think so. I really think so because I feel like, they have to come up with new ways to add a different flair to surprises. So I feel like it could be a person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Edge.
Yeah, I miss Adam Copeland as well.
I mean,
so you never know.
Please. I love you, Adam Copeland. Don't block me, please. I beg.
Yeah, you just never know. But those are really my three predictions as to what's in the crate. But like I said, it's going to be fun regardless when we find out.
Or it might be the masked man. They will reveal who he is finally.
Maybe.
Because, who was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I was joking with my dad the other day, and I said it was Shawn Michaels. And he was just and he was just like, Stephanie, Shawn Michaels hasn't moved that good in 20 years. And I was just like, look, you never know. Shoot. In my heart of hearts, I wish it was Shawn Michaels because the way that I would have oh God, I miss Shawn Michaels in the ring so much. I just do. I just really do. So, I know it's not Shawn Michaels, but if it was, just know that I would be going up.
It's John Cena.
Look, I would go up with him too, but I don't know. We'll see. But in moving forward with our predictions for Elimination Chamber, we do have another native Chicagoan from birth defending his World Heavyweight Championship against a very hungry and very determined Finn Balor. CM Punk going to Chicago, defending his championship before WrestleMania. A lot of people think it's very risky considering Finn Balor really wants to prove himself. I do have my feelings about it, but Bianca, I want to let you share your predictions first before I get into my feelings about Finn and Punk.
Well, I think my prediction is straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not, I will happily repeat it. I will- um, if that man from Chicago, if he doesn't win, I will say, you know what? It's a Friday, whatever. If Philip Jack Brooks, born in Christchurch Hospital, Chicago, Illinois, November 26, 1978, does not win tomorrow in Chicago, of all places, that would prove that WWE is rigged, that WWE is choreographed, is staged.
Let's
It's
not.
rigged. Like, come on.
Let's not do too much. Okay. Let's not do too much. No.
I'm sorry. But yeah, if like it just wouldn't not make sense if CM Punk does not win his hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Like, what? No.
Well, I'm gonna push back on that.
Oh god.
Here's the pushback on that. As much as I love that you love CM Punk and I love CM Punk as well, the pushback I have about that is the fact that I can't stand to win. I can't stand to see Finn Balor. I can't stand to see Finn Balor lose again. That is my biggest pushback about that, because Finn Balor, by all accounts, should have been a world champion and should have had a second chance by now. It's been over 10 years at this point. I feel like for him to keep going and keep gunning at CM Punk the way that he has been, only for him to lose, has just been it's been so mind-numbing for me, because you have CM Punk and you have Roman Reigns, who made his challenge after winning the Rumble, and then they set this big match to happen at WrestleMania Vegas, and then you have Finn here, and it's just like, after Finn possibly loses his match tomorrow against CM Punk, what does he do next? That's the problem. That's the problem that I'm having with this whole situation. It's just that Finn is at a crossroads between who he wants to be as a champion and the identity. Here again, like Liv Morgan, they're having sort of the same conflict. It's like who they want to be, or who they are in terms of their bravado with the Judgment Day, and who they are at their core. And it's just like, at what point are we really going to see Finn Balor win? Like, I'm tired. Like, I feel like I'm tired of watching him constantly lose these opportunities. As much as I love that CM Punk is a fighting champion, again, and stuff like that, watching Finn lose one more time, I feel like will only just irritate me and make me sad. Like, and then also, if Finn wins, then that changes the trajectory of the whole WrestleMania main event, because you have Finn versus Roman. And that wasn't what we had initially thought it was going to be, because, Roman and Punk had that big promo and got us all hype and excited for that match. And then it just changes, because, of course, wrestling is subject to change. There's really nothing you can do about that, because that's just the nature of the beast. But still, it's just like, bruh, Finn versus Roman was not the thing that we were we were pumped about. We were pumped about Punk versus Roman. So I don't know. It's just very stressful for me. This whole situation with this title is very stressful for me on two different levels. And it's just like, bruh, it'll break my heart if Finn loses. But then if Finn wins, then we don't get Roman and Punk one-on-one. And it's just like, it's a double-edged sword.
Yes. I do see where you're coming from in terms of Finn Balor is winning. Like, he winning the championship. What happened? That Universal title is no longer that's
no
done?
Like, that is done, because essentially, because it's like Finn won the Universal title when it was red. He was essentially the first ever Universal champion. And then he had to give it up 24 hours later because of a shoulder injury he sustained in the match he wanted in. And then, of course, the Universal title had its lore, but it's now been combined with the title that Drew McIntyre is holding. So it's the undisputed WWE championship. So there is no universal title anymore. So with that regard, Finn has not held the universal title. He has not held the undisputed WWE championship, and he has not held the world heavyweight championship. He has been IC champ, and I think he has been United States champ, if I'm not mistaken. And I know he's been tag champ a bunch of times, and he's been NXT champ multiple times, but he has not won a world title on the main roster. And that is problematic because at one point during NXT Black and Gold days, he was the man. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Let's put it that way.
It's tough.
Wow.
I'm very conflicted.
I'm not conflicted. However, I do.
That's fair. It's fair.
But I just want to see Finn with the leather jacket and his entrance song, not his new one, the old one, the one that matters. Because what is that? Anyway, but maybe we'll see a Finn Balor championship around his belt. I don't know. By the end of the year, it's just not. I just can't see. It's just been too long since CM Punk has been champion. I'm not just saying this because I'm biased. Well, I don't know.
You're biased. It's okay. You can admit that you're biased. It's fine.
I have his shirt on.
If you're biased, it's fine. It's fine.
I can't just.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. So,
for the record, I said he was born November 26th. He was born October 26th. My bad, people. CM Punk, I love you. My apologies. Okay, go on.
Okay. So essentially, you're predicting CM Punk, and I'm just conflicted. And that's just what it is. I'm conflicted. So another thing I'm conflicted by in terms of the men as we move forward and towards the conclusion of our Elimination Chamber predictions, we have the men's Elimination Chamber match, which now has Logan Paul in it. Now having Logan Paul in it due to the shenanigans of the WWE champion Drew McIntyre screwing Jacob Fatu out of his opportunity that he really could have won.
The disrespect. I can't.
Very disrespectful.
Man.
So now we have Logan Paul versus Javon Evans versus Trick Williams versus Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes.
Versus,
who's the last one?
We got
my
Randy
brain.
Orton, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Jey Uso. Whoa, no, LA Knight.
LA Knight, thank God. Okay, and LA Knight, yes. Yeah. So this is another match I feel conflicted by because in my happy, perfect world of worlds, I would choose LA Knight to win. Because he deserves that chance. He deserves that opportunity. I would love to see LA Knight win a world title or just at least have that opportunity against Drew McIntyre to win. Because I feel like the fans have been pushing for him and rooting for him for so long. And it's always so close, but no cigar with him. And I really want him to get his things. But on the one hand, you also have Javon and Trick there, and it's just like, oh God, I love them so much, and I would love it if they won. But I do know that even if Javon might not win the match proper, he'll definitely win moment for sure. Moment or moments, because that man he can fly. He's an angel, and he's an angel. So I feel like, the bouncy chamber is going to happen, even if he does not win the match properly. But I really honestly feel For me, it's between Trick Williams and LA Knight.
Anyone black?
It's between Trick Williams and LA Knight because Trick came out the gate saying, I want to fight you, Drew McIntyre. He came out the gate saying, I want to be champion. Like, I want to be the guy. And I love that about him. He has that confidence because we saw him in NXT. We saw him in TNA. We saw him rise and become this big mega star that he's becoming. So what better way to, you know, usher him into this new light than to see him win a championship opportunity like this and see him grow from a feud like that? It would be amazing. But LA Knight is really like my second choice as a whole. But in my heart of hearts, I would really love it if Trick Williams won. Who's your prediction to win the men's elimination chamber match? B.
Oh my god. Well, it was between. I would. I think. I would love. I would love to see Randy Orton win. He has my heart always. However, anyone black at this point should win, deserves to win. So I would love to see a bounty champion. Pause. I would love to see Javon Evans and or Trick Williams win. Because it's just I need more flavor. I need more lemon peppers. I need more black. And on the final day of Black History Month of all days,
yeah,
to win. So I would love to see Trick Williams win, followed by Javon Evans, followed by Randy Orton.
Yeah, all solid choices.
I also want to see them all beat up and destroy Hogan Paul and bruise him to death and give him black eyes and just hurt him. And how does he not know how does he walk around this earth and not realize how ugly he is? Like, what is I just can't. No.
Well, I'll never insult looks. I mean, I feel like Logan Paul, he's pretty, but he's just dumb. And I feel like to be pretty and dumb is just a horrible combination for me personally, because I feel like that's a waste of pretty when you're dumb. So, like, I hate that. I hate that. Like, no, like, what? How dare you be cute and dumb? Like, I do not like a dumb man. I don't. I don't like a dumb man. I don't. I can't stand a dumb or an ignorant man. I hate it. I hate it to death. I hate it. Be smart. Have something to talk about. But Logan Paul, to me, I don't see him winning it because he doesn't need it, first of all.
Thank you.
He doesn't need a match against Drew McIntyre. Like, he doesn't need it. And I honestly feel like my big prediction, also my other big prediction for Elimination Chamber for the men is that I feel like the real masked man is going to come and ruin that chance for Logan.
Yes.
The real masked man is going to ruin that chance for Logan and eliminate him out. And then I feel like we might find out exactly who it is. So
who do you think it is?
And well, in my fantasy brain, I feel like it's Shawn Michaels. But in my real brain, I feel like it really could be Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
If it's not anybody else.
Because he stomps like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like it's Seth Rollins. It's ultimately Seth Rollins because he has to get his lick back because they literally kicked him out of the group. And yeah, it's Seth. Yeah, it's definitely Seth. And if it's not Seth, then I'll just be surprised and proven wrong and I'll be gagged.
Yeah,
But and we'll have to talk about it. But either way, like I just feel like it's Seth, and yeah, and whoever the masked man is gonna ruin that chance for Logan Paul because he doesn't need it, and it's
exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trick and LA Knight, Trick Williams and LA Knight are my favorites. And also I want to give a shout out to Trick Williams because I don't know if this is true or not, but on SmackDown he did mention how his phrase lemon pepper steppers was mentioned in a Bruno Mars song on his new
Yeah.
album, The Romantic. Um, and I love that because does Bruno really watch current WWE? I have to know. I mean, I have to know because I just gotta know because Bruno Mars is life, and I just gotta know that album was fantastic, and just the fact of hearing Lemon Pepper Steppers in that album today just really blessed me. But that whole album blessed me today. So either way, those are our picks for the elimination chamber tomorrow. But of course, you just never know what surprises you might get in and out of professional wrestling, so we are open to being surprised. It does come on Saturday, tomorrow at 7 Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, on
I thought Jade,
ESPN.
I thought Jade Cargill was competing.
Jake, no, when you're the champion you don't compete in the elimination chamber match.
I had a prediction. I was
No. It's like the Royal
okay.
Rumble. When you're the champion, you don't compete in it. Everybody
Okay,
fights in it to face you.
got it. Okay,
Yeah.
because I was hoping. I forgot about that. Thank you for explaining. Because I wanted to say what if maybe Bianca returns tomorrow and
Well,
destroys
no.
and ruins everything for Jade, or
No,
Naomi makes a
she's
surprise return.
no. Because Bianca actually, she's recovering and rehabbing from her
Yeah,
finger surgery, and Naomi's pregnant.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Just a
yeah.
delusion.
Yeah. But
But what if
nature.
but what if Bianca is derailing us all? What if she's like, well, like Becky, like what Becky Lynch did?
I don't think this is the case. I
Hmm.
don't think there's that, because what happened with her finger at last year's WrestleMania has kept her out this long, and I don't think that's a work at all.
Okay.
I can understand how you could think it's a work because injuries have been works before, and that is valid, but I don't think this is.
Hmm.
So, yeah. But we do miss her though. I miss my EST. But of course, that brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you guys so much for watching us live if you're watching us live. And of course, if you have not caught up to this episode, you can watch it later on the YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to if you have not subscribed to it already. Subscribe to the Hardy Wrestling Podcast. And this episode will be up audio wise. If not by tonight, then by at least tomorrow. And I will be sharing clips and stuff, so be on the lookout for that. So of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and listen to the show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and everywhere else you get your audio-based podcasts. And yeah, know that you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. And also follow the show on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. And yeah, just continue to support the show and support, me and my wrestling ventures, and just so many other things that I might have cooking that I just haven't announced yet or whatever. And just be on the lookout for those announcements. So Bianca, thank you for joining me tonight. It was fun as always. Just let everybody know where they can find and follow you and what you've got going on.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at my. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Bianca Addison. You can also follow my ring announcing journey. You can follow me on my Instagram. You can follow my ring announcing journey on Instagram at Ebony Rose Ringside. That's EBONIROSE Ringside. I'm on a venture, if you will, to become a WWE ring announcer, or not rest or or professional wrestling ring announcer in general. But yeah, just you can follow me there. I yeah.
Don't forget to plug your TikTok too.
Oh yes. Well, I haven't used TikTok in a while due to with everything going on. But I do post. But you can also you can also find me on TikTok at Ebony and Rose Ringside.
Yeah, and you can also follow me on TikTok as well at Stephanie_Hardy4. If it's not Stephanie_Hardy4, it's Stephanie_Hardy. Either way, you can follow me there as well. So, of course, this has been the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girls, Stephanie Hardy and Bianca. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and enjoy Elimination Chamber because it's going to be fun. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be gagged with all kinds of surprises and everything. And until next time, bye, y'all.
Be safe out there. Bye.
Yeah, bye.